And Blue Feather is my guide. I am a certified spirit medium or psychic, however you want to say. And tonight's show is the laws of mediumship. So I'm going to give you a little bit of information, or maybe I'll just give you a whole lot of information about being a medium, psychic, or very intuitive, however we want to say it. So I would just say this to you. If you have a question or two that you would like to ask, please call the phone number, which is 813-814-1601. And if for whatever reason, if you were to call and we didn't answer, then I would say and suggest to you to please go to www.bluefeather.net, and I can answer questions there, or Janet@bluefeather.net. Okay. So here we go. The laws of mediumship. It's very, very important. But let me explain to you first what a medium is. And then sometimes I joke and say a small. So I am a medium, and I am a small sometimes, but very seldom in today's world because of the way they make the clothes. The material's not the same. But a medium is one whose organism is sensitive to vibration from the spirit world, and through whose instrumentality, intelligence in that world are able to convey messages and produce phenomena of spiritualism or spirit mediumship or channeling. Now that was 4 good sentences, but what it's saying is that I am an individual who is extremely sensitive, and Blue Feather is my guide, and I can hear words, see symbols, go by my feelings, and it's all through the help of spirit. So that's what I should say. Not only that, because of all the schooling that I've had or education that I've had to enhance my abilities, that is what makes me a medium. Okay. Now, the laws of mediumship. One of our laws is the law of vibration. All things in the universe are vibrating, and their rate their rate of vibration determines their nature. Each medium or psychic has a vibratory wavelength, and upon the strength of that medium, the conditions brought by the sitters and the knowledge of the laws of communication displayed by the manifestation spirit depends the entire success of the phenomena present or presented. In other words, what we're just saying here is that every one of us as mediums have different energies, and because of those energies and the strength of that energy, and how well we coordinate ourselves with spirit is what makes us who we are as mediums and or as go-betweens between the world of spirit and the world here. Now, I am going to just stop for 1 second because I forgot to bring my water over, and I'm going to go get it. All right, don't go nowhere. That was not a good thing. I should have remembered that, but I did not. But you know, in our world today, everything is just such a rush and everything is just so busy. You're lucky that after all day that we have our heads still left on our shoulders, okay? Anyway, so let me tell you this also about laws of attraction. The law of like attracting like, it's a natural law. And it functions on both the spiritual and the material plane. If we have a high mental and moral standard, it is not quite natural that spirits of a like nature will manifest harmoniously in our vibration. So let me say that one more time. If we have a high mental and moral standard, it is. If we have a high one, it is quite natural that spirits of a like nature will manifest harmoniously in our vibration. What that means is our energy is going to attract other energy. So if we have high energy that is very, very positive, then what's going to happen is energy from the other side is going to be very, very positive. But the one thing for sure that I always do believe in is that I am surrounded in white light, love, and protection. Blue Feather is my guide, and he is the one that looks out for me and has been looking out for me for quite a while. God bless him. And he's my gatekeeper. He's considered my gatekeeper. He only allows in the light, the white light. We do not allow negative energies to come through. So just know that. So the law of attraction, as we say it, like a natural law, I am in my own little way just drawing in white light. I do not want dark light. So I only want what is good for me or for whoever I'm doing readings for. So I go to the positive, okay? That's not saying that in a reading that we can have a negative response. It's not negative. It's presented in a way to where we have to look at it, and it has to be handled correctly, okay? I hope all that made sense to you. So now, once more, does anyone have any questions? And if they do, please call 813-814. Oh, okay, let's do this one. Oh, she's got it. 1601. And then once more, bluefeather.net is my webpage. All right. Let me explain to you the ethics. Ethics when doing readings is very, very important. So please know that. Excuse me while I get a drink of water. Okay, ethics. Psychic abilities, once developed, are very, very powerful. When we begin to take our own energy seriously, we become accountable to universal law, okay? Just know that, okay? We become accountable to universal laws. So then let me just tell you a little bit more about that, okay? Let me explain to you what the first law is. The first law is the energy that you send out always comes back to you. So please remember that. If you act in a violent way, you become violent, okay? And that's the last thing that you want to do. If you act in a peaceful way, you can become very peaceful. Giving and receiving are two sides of the same coin, okay? Karma can get you every time. Karma, the law of cause and effect, is linked to the concept of reincarnation. This balance of energy, this give and take, is evened out over man's lifetime. You can't always see the results of your actions in your present lifetime. You can't always see the results of your actions in your present lifetime, but you can see some of your results. So please know that. You know when you're doing something good, and then you also know when you're doing something not so good, or we could say when you're doing something bad, okay? The second law, the greater your awareness, the greater your responsibilities. You can either act out of a space of love and abundance, or you can act out of a space of fear and limitations. You cannot act from both spaces simultaneously, okay? Psychic abilities must always be used in a loving, non-violent way. It is never acceptable to use psychic abilities to manipulate or assume power over others. And that is something that I would never do. I would never do that. I have enough problems paying attention to myself, let alone trying to have power over others. If somebody says to you that they don't want to do something, then that's fine. I would not want to take that individual and try to change them. So I hope that makes sense to you too. So does anybody have any questions? And if so, please call 813-814-1601. Now, let me say this about psychic abilities. Personal responsibility. Excuse me. We are responsible as psychics, mediums, for what we say. Okay? And I'm very conscientious about what I say to individuals. And I do it in a diplomatic manner, hopefully. Blue Feather helps me to say things diplomatically. So it's very, very important. So personal responsibility for classes being taught, at home doing readings, or somewhere else doing readings, or at work if you have your own office. Personal responsibility is very important, okay? So, were you to do a seance, which is something that I do and I love more than anything. I call that talking between worlds. I call that seance. I call that messages, a message service. So the one thing that is important for the seance, and then we have what they call for the platform, and for all work. Okay, the platform is when we are at church services and we are up on the podium and we are giving messages to everybody that's present there that we can give a message to. Okay, so we need to be open and receptive. Most important. Spirit uses body. New age channeler. So what we're saying here, Spirit uses our bodies to channel through and give that information to the individual. Okay. Voices may sound like sitters and or mediums. Okay. And Spirit channels through the medium and or the channeler. Okay. So by that, we hear the voices. So voices may sound like sitters or mediums. So not to worry. We hear the voices, not you. So I would say to you, spirit guides, the spirit guides do not make our decisions. That's for sure. They really don't. But when they're given the message, they are making a suggestion. They are not making a decision. And Spirit will give you proof when they are ready, not when they think that you are ready. Spirit really does, in a lot of ways, control all the information. Okay? We are, once more, the medium and or the channeler. Okay? Now, when we're doing platform work, that means we're standing up on the podium and we are speaking to everyone to give messages. When we are doing that, we need to be always very professional, okay? We must be clean and dressed properly. We must be loving and positive, okay? Love yourself, God, Goddess within. Be proud of yourself, okay? We must be self-disciplined. Self-discipline is very important, okay? And excuse me again, I'm going to take a sip of water. For whatever reason, I don't want to say I'm trying to catch a cold because I don't want to put that out there, but I think I'm trying to catch a cold. So when I say be self-disciplined, I mean be self-controlled, okay? When I say to you, be knowledgeable, it means to use good grammar and gestures. And then the thing also that is most important than anything when we're doing our work up on the platform, we have to be very open-minded. You know, I don't know how many of you understand me when I say to you platform work, but at the churches, the metaphysical churches, the spiritual churches, Unity, all of the churches, all the different churches that I work out, when we get through doing a sermon and we get through doing the service, everybody wants a message from the medium and or the psychic, okay? So up there on that platform, when we give messages, you need to really, really be self-disciplined. You need to very much listen to what Spirit has to say. And then when you give the message, you need to give the message very diplomatically, okay? Even when you're doing readings, you need to give the message very diplomatically, okay? Spirit only makes suggestions. They do not tell us what to do. So now, moving forward, does anyone have a question? And if you do, would you please call 813-814-1601. And if you have a question over and above and you don't want to call, then just go to www.bluefeather.net. I do wish someone would call in if they have a question, because what I'm trying to teach you tonight, I hope, is sinking in. It's a little intense, but it's very good information. So I hope that you're listening. How about that? All right, so then we could say to you what spirituality teaches and does. Okay, so now I'm just going to give you some of what spirituality teaches and does. It means that man is spirit now, just as much as he ever will be, only encased in a physical body, which to a certain extent impels his progression. Meaning, I am the one that man is spirit, and I can be encased by spirit and can give you quite a bit of information, okay? That communication between the living and the so-called dead is a fact. Yes, we do talk to the other side, and yes, the other side talks to us. But when it says here that communication between the living and the so-called dead is a fact, they should give us memories. If they give us memories, and that's something that you do remember, that makes it a fact, okay? That life is continuous, and death only a rebirth into a world of higher vibration. And I really do believe that there is a much higher vibration. I just don't want to go there yet. So I'm very happy here on this earth plane, and I am not sincerely ready for the other, but we never know. We don't know when our time is up. Only they know. And I say to you, only they know, okay? It brings comfort and happiness to the bereaved, though scientifically proven communication with the so-called dead, okay? In other words, a lot of people don't believe in that. So we do get messages, but scientifically proven communication with the so-called dead does not exist, but yes, it does, okay? All right, it teaches man how to live here and hereafter through an understanding of God's natural laws, that all men are brothers and God their Father, therefore all men are divine because of the spark of God within. They have all the potentialities of God if they choose to develop them. It's all in your belief system. It's however you want to believe, okay? So please know that, all right? That the doorway to reformation is even open and no man eternally bemused, okay? That hell and heaven are states of mental consciousness and not literal abodes plus mental. You know, everybody, we know there's a heaven, and then as a child in the Catholic religion, I was taught there was a hell. For whatever reason, and to this day, I don't believe in a hell. I really, really don't. I believe in heaven, possible chance of purgatory, possible chance, but I just know there's a heaven. I honestly believe hell is here on earth. It teaches us. It really, really does. It teaches us a lot. I just don't believe that we can go through our life and live it and learn what we learned, and then when we die, go to hell. Even your individuals that are extremely not nice people, very bad, they're brought into this world, in my belief system, to teach us. Okay? It's not where I want to be. I don't want to be one of the bad persons, but it's a part of life. So we need the bad to teach us the good. So I just don't think or feel that when we get through going through all that we do here on earth, that when we die, down the road we go. I don't believe that. Okay? And the other thing is that God is spirit and a part of all things, animate and inanimate. Okay? God is love and love is God. So once more, it's all in what you want to believe. Okay? Now, any questions, anyone? Please call 813-814-1601. Okay? Anybody have a question anywhere? No? Okay. Then excuse me. I'm going to take another sip. Okay? Okay. So now we have what we call the 4 psychic centers of awareness. But sometimes, just so that you know, but really not sometimes, there's 5. So one of them is feeling. Okay? That's one of our senses. So feeling is clear sentience, okay? Feeling is closely intertwined with our physical beings. Its reception area is at the front of the body, extending from the top of the diaphragm to just below the navel, okay? This area, often called the solar plexus, is the site of many nerve junctions, okay? And the chakras are orange and yellow, okay? So all of us are very, very psychic. So a lot of us go by our feelings. So our instinct tells us whether or not we are right or wrong. All we need to do is listen to our instincts. And that's the hard part, okay? Knowing, clear cognizance. I love knowing. I love the clear cognizance. It is the most fleeting of the 4 senses. It is an inner awareness, unsupported by any particular internal sensation or even external stimulants, okay? You just know. The reception or for knowing is the crown and the top of the head, okay? To use knowing, you simply think upward and note your impression knowing, okay? I have had that ability ever since I was a child. Clear cognizance, knowing, just knowing, okay? When I was a little kid, and I have never, ever forgotten this, and I lived in Brentwood, Maryland, I used to walk to Queenstown. It was a nice little shopping center. When I did walk to Queenstown, I had to pass the Queenstown apartments. I did not like those apartments. Every time I passed them, I would have a fit within. I really would. I would, and I could not. I did not like them, and I didn't understand why. But I knew I was going to live there. And I want you to know, I lived there twice. I lived there when I was 17, and I had to leave home And when I left home, I went to the Queenstown Apartments with my best friend and her father, okay? But the thing or the incident that happened that was the biggest is when my ex-husband and I had 2 children. When we separated, I went to the Queenstown Apartments. I lived there for a year, and I knew, I just knew. And here, this was the second time. But when I lived there the first time, the experience was totally different than from the second time that I lived there. I got to know the people, and they were of different cultures. They were good people. I learned a lot. My family was very racial. I had to learn. I learned a lot over there. I really did. So I was never sorry that I lived in the Queenstown Apartments. I was very thankful because of what I learned about people. Okay. Then we have what you call clairaudient, which is hearing. These centers are on each side of the head, just above the ears. Hearing manifests itself as inner sound, words, phrases, even paragraphs of inner dialogue may impress themselves on you as you listen. It's spirit talking with you. You need to listen. Blue Feather talks to me all the time. Let me correct that, not all the time, because we have some rules. You do have to have rules with spirit. Spirit has rules. We have rules. I only allow them to talk to me when I'm doing my work, but sometimes they sneak some information in for you. Okay, so please just know that. But Blue Feather always speaks to me. Okay, when I say that, I just mean when I'm working and when I need them. Okay, one of the things that impressed me the most was when I actually heard out of the country. That was 4 words. That's the most words that Blue Feather had said to me. He gives me usually just one word, but now, or maybe possibly 2 words. So I'll give you an example. Job change. I can hear job change. But when I hear out of the country, what he is trying to say is that you're either going out of the country or you're from out of the country and going from, or someone could be coming in from out of the country. Okay, so please know that. Just listen. They talk to us all the time. And then the other psychic center that's very important is vision, which is clairvoyant. So before I get into that information, because we're getting ready, we're running out of time. I still have a few minutes left, but is there anyone who has a question about anything that I am speaking about? If so, would you please call 813-814-1601. And then if not, in time, please, if you have a question, you can go to bluefeather.net and ask that question. But let me tell you about vision, clairvoyance. Automatically shifts upwards, okay? It moves from eye level to the level of your forehead, okay? The ability to see symbols, letters, or images. This is the location the ancient philosophers used to call the third eye, okay? So let me say this. Open and close your eyes several times until you can be sure you sense that shift of attention. Okay, so that's a good thing to do in the very, very beginning. But for me now, it's very normal. So to give you a good story, I was doing a reading and I saw false teeth. I saw this gentleman and I felt that man was the woman that I was giving the reading to. I felt that was her father. and it was, and he had false teeth in his hands. So I said to my friend that I was giving the reading for, I have your dad here, and he is showing me false teeth. Now, why is he doing that? And I could honestly see false teeth. And she laughed, and she said, well, she says, I bought and paid for my mother's false teeth, but I refused to pay for my father's false teeth. So it became a joke. So that's a memory. So when you see symbols, know it's a memory, and that's Spirit's way of talking to us. So we can give that memory to who we're reading for. And then I will tell you another story real quick, but I need a drink of water. I was doing a reading for another friend of mine, and you always have to ask permission to talk about what you see when you're with your clients. If it's something special, you have to ask, can you speak that? Can you tell that story? So once more, I was doing a reading, and I could see this gentleman sitting on the back porch, and he was blowing bubbles, and I could see the bubbles. And I said to her, I see your husband. He's sitting on the back porch, and he is blowing bubbles. And she became so happy. She said he used to blow bubbles for his grandchildren all the time. Now, that is a beautiful memory, okay? So I enjoy my work. I really do. I love it when Spirit shows me the different visions or the symbols. I love it when they give me words, as in Blue Feather, when he gives me words. I love it when I know that I just know, which is getting ready to say I always knew I was going to move to Florida. I went to Miami many, many years ago. And I went out into the water to keep an eye on my kids, and I had a deja vu. I just knew I was going to come back to Florida. I just didn't know when or where in Florida. So I don't have to tell you, I came to Tampa, and I've been here for 40 years, but I knew I was coming. I just didn't know when. And it was about 8 years later. And I never, ever said anything about that until the time came. So I hope I've helped each and every one of you with some good information. If you have any questions, I have about 1, maybe 2 minutes, maybe 3. Just call 813-814-1601. Okay? And then I can answer it. And then let's give you one more thing to tell you. Psychic vision is like having an internal television screen that displays information and pictures not available to your physical eyes. Okay? So the reception area, the seat of psychic vision, is an area in the forehead or the third eye. So remember that, please. Many schools of meditation tell students to focus their thought there and envision an image or a scene. Okay? And then I'll tell you one more thing before we leave. Traditionally, the third eye was also thought to be linked with the pineal gland, okay? Buried deep in the front center of the brain. This gland is the most mysterious of all glands, okay? Its function is not yet fully understood, but science has associated it with complex functions of light sensitivity in both man and animal. Okay? So just know that this third eye, and the color of this third eye is a beautiful deep purple. Okay, just like your Christ consciousness right there is very white. Okay, that's part of our chakra system, which can be another story. Okay, and then the throat chakra, which is most important, is blue. And it helps you. If you concentrate on this and you tell spirit you want to walk your talk and you want to talk your walk, but I say it all the time, but now it's diplomatically. Because sometimes I can just spit it out, blurt it out, and that is not always the best way. Sometimes you have to think before you speak. Okay, so work on this if ever you want to, the throat chakra, and just visualize blue and say you want to walk your talk and talk your walk diplomatically. If you look at the third eye and you want to work with that, that is guidance, is what I ask for with that, or you can visualize whatever it is that you want with spirit in the universe. But I ask for guidance. And then the top chakra is white, and I always ask them to keep me the good person that I am. So I hope you enjoyed tonight. It was a lot for me, so I hope it was a lot for you, and I hope it all made sense. If you have any questions, please call me at 813-814-1601. Please go to bluefeather.net if you have any questions, and then just know that you can email me at janet@bluefeather.net. Thank you, and have a very good evening. Whew.